everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Nizzy Sports Chat. I am your host, Nizzy, and in this video, you guys, are going to be breaking down another tough performance last night from the Toronto Raptors squad, falling by a final score of 114-97 versus the Indiana Pacers, finishing up their 6-game road trip there, you guys. Tough loss last night, got absolutely dominated on the glass. The Raptors had a tough shooting night from three-point range. Didn't get a lot of production out of our big guns. Guys like Gary Trent Jr. and Pascal Siakam didn't have a high-flying night for us. Fred VanVleet was nice and steady. Scotty Barnes had a steady performance as well, even though he ended up getting his thumb whacked in the middle of that game there. So overall, pretty tough performance. Never really had a chance in that second half. We were keeping it nice and close in the first half. And then in the second half, Indiana just came out and played a lot better defensive ball. Held us to 16 points in that fourth quarter, which is just not going to be good enough to seal the deal and get that victory. Toronto Raptors ended up having 57 first half points. And like I said, the Pacers just locked us down in that second half. We only were able to produce 40 points in the second half against that Pacers squad. So tough second half for the boys. Got Boston coming up on Sunday here, so hopefully we can get back in the win column and beat down Boston once again. Obviously, we've played them once this season and absolutely destroyed them. So hopefully let's get a little more of that on Sunday. We'll have to see what happens. Right real quick before we go ahead and start breaking down the rest of this game from last night, you guys, if you can go ahead and like this video if you like sporting content like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. I've been getting a lot of support lately from you guys, man. I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. We're going to keep coming out with as much content as possible for you guys. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start breaking down this game from last night. The Raptors fall to 9-11 now on their season, 2 games below 500. The Pacers are crawling back into contention here. They're 9-12 on their season now with the victory last night. Now, I'm sure you guys all remember the start of the season. We ended up beating the Pacers the first 2 games we played them. Obviously, this being the third matchup between the two teams. And the Pacers were atrocious at the start of the season. I think they started off their season like 1-7. But I expected them to bounce back. I think personally that Indiana Pacers got a playoff caliber team. You got guys like Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis, your 2 big men there who are, heavy production guys for you, especially on the glass. You got Brogdon, who's a really good point guard. You got Karis LeVert, who's back healthy. He's looking really good. Their rookie, Chris Duarte, a Canadian kid, is looking poised for a bright future in the NBA. So I think this is definitely a playoff team that we played last night. Like I said, the Pacers just had a rough start to the season. But I would not be surprised if at the end of the year they're in the playoff contention. I think the Raptors have a chance of being in playoff contention at the end of this season too, whether it be that 8 seed or we end up being in one of the play-in spots. We just got to right the ship, get things turned around here. It's been a rough stretch since Pascal Siakam's been back in the fold. Seems like the team doesn't really know how to get everyone involved properly right now. I find Pascal Siakam's a little too focused on his offensive game and not focused enough on playing hard-nosed defense. I found since he's been back in the fold here, you guys, our defense has really fallen off a cliff. We were ranked in the top 10 in defense before Pascal Siakam came back. Since he's been back, we're in the bottom end of the league here, allowing pretty well over 110 points per game with ease right now. So our defense needs to improve majorly. Obviously, you can see how big of an issue it is not having a true center on the team right now. We're running just with a bunch of 6'9" small ball centers right now, whether it be Pascal or Scotty or Cam Birch, whoever decides to fill in the role at that center slot. So that's definitely going to be a need for the Toronto Raptors come the trade deadline this year. We're going to have to figure out a way to get a 7-foot center in here. I'd love you guys. I'd absolutely love this. I don't know if it'd be possible, but man, would I love to get Jonas Valanciunas back with the Raptors. Sorely missed that guy is. Just a heart and soul guy for the Toronto Raptors. I'm sure you guys all remember him before he got traded away for Marc Gasol there when we went on our championship run in 2019. But this guy's just a rebounding machine. He can hit his free throws at a high clip. He's got a nice finish around the rim. He'd be a great post presence for us. He's got some shot blocking ability on the defensive side. He'll just be that big tree inside the paint, being able to bring down those defensive rebounds for you. I'd love to get a guy like him on the squad. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility or not. There's a couple other guys. Moses Brown from Dallas, would love to get him, send over Goran Dragic and maybe Boucher or something like that to pick up Moses Brown. But something's going to need to be addressed here, you guys. We're going to need to get a legitimate center added to the team here. Otherwise, I can see these struggles continuing throughout the season. Anytime we play a team that's got a big-time center, or a couple big-time centers, like obviously the Pacers got Sabonis and Turner. You know, we just get dominated on the glass. You know, got to do a better job of boxing out. Did not do a great job of boxing out last night. They got a lot of offensive rebounds on us. 17 offensive boards they were able to grab on us. You know, that's just unacceptable. You got to do a lot better job boxing out on the defensive end. Did a decent job on our own offensive boards. We had 13 of our own. But totals, the Pacers had 53 boards total compared to our 41. You know, got to do a lot better job in that department. At least keep it around 500, right? Especially when you're playing a good rebounding team like the Pacers. You got to box out, man. We did a terrible job of boxing out last night. You know, allowed them to get going as well. They shot 48% from the field, 47 of 97. Raptors were only able to muster 41% from the field as a team last night, shooting 37 of 89. So also huge for them because they got those extra rebounds. They were able to accumulate 8 more shots from the field than we were. You know, we got to seize the day, too, with those free throws, you guys. We ended up shooting 16 of 22 from the line, only 72% as a team. You want to see those numbers improve a little bit, especially because the Pacers only had 11 free throw attempts in last night's game, so they were not getting to the line a lot. They were able to finish 9 of 11 from the free throw line, shooting 81%, so they were still efficient from the line. You know, but when we were getting to the line, double the amount of times comparatively to them. Obviously, they went 11 times. We went 22 times. You know, we got to capitalize on that and finish off our free throw attempts. You know, that was another big reason we weren't able to pull out the victory in this game. 10 turnovers in the game comparatively to the Pacers 12. So we did win the turnover battle in that margin. Still would like to see those numbers drop a little bit, but 10 turnovers isn't the end of the world. And then they just, like I said, this was just a team dominating us in the paint, whether it be grabbing the rebounds or scoring in the paint. They had 60 points in the paint on us. We mustered 48 points in the paint, so we were scoring pretty well in the paint as well. But like I said, when you got two bigs like Sabonis and Miles Turner on that Indiana Pacers team, man, they were just able to dominate us. I mean, Sabonis had 18 rebounds. Turner had 10 rebounds. You got 28 boards between those two dudes for you. We just had nobody else that was even close in the game. Pascal had 12 boards for us. Other than that, we never had anyone else in double-digit rebounds. So got to do a better job of that. Yeah, so not a terrible performance offensively, but, you know, need to do a better job for sure. Tough night for Gary Trent Jr. Shot 4 of 11 from the field, only had 13 points. Siakam shot 7 of 17 from the field, so a poor shooting night from him as well. Only had 17 points, but he did have the 12 boards, which was nice to see. But just that defense got to be a little bit better, you guys, allowing another 110-plus point game. That's just not going to be good enough, unfortunately, to be able to win in this league. You know, at a consistent rate. It's tough. It's tough to be able to score 115, 120 points a game to be able to win, you know, consistently. The Raptors usually hang their hat on the defensive side of the floor, you know, being able to get wins by scores of like 105, 100, you know, low-scoring games. And we haven't been able to do that lately, obviously, with the defense being in shambles. You know, Chris Boucher hasn't been playing that well either defensively for us. His offensive game's coming around a little bit now. He's finished last night 4 of 8 from the field with 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 block. Or 1 steal, sorry, not a block. At the end of the day, he has been a shell of his former self from last season. Malachi Flynn shot 1 of 6 from the field, so a poor shooting night from him. Not really liking that lineup either when they got him and Fred VanVleet on the floor together. You got 2 small point guards out there. Not a huge fan of that. You know, Malachi Flynn's playing a lot of off-ball as well right now. Not a huge fan of that either. I'd rather see him facilitate the offense and have Fred VanVleet resting while he's out on the floor if you're going to give him some minutes. I mean, I think he played 13 minutes last night. Malachi only had 2 points, 2 boards, and 1 steal in those 13 minutes, so a pretty quiet night from him. Svi Mikhailiuk had a quiet night as well, only 2 points and 1 steal, 1 of 6 from the field, I think in about 13 or 14 minutes of action as well. So it was a tough night from the bench unit. Didn't get a lot of scoring from the bench, only had 2, 4, 13, 15 points off our bench, you guys, so it was a pretty poor shooting night from the bench. You know, going to need a lot more production off of our bench unit if we're going to want to be able to compete in these games when we got some of our starters not scoring at a high clip, obviously. Like I said, Gary Trent with 13, it's not terrible, but it's not the type of production that we're used to seeing from the guy. Obviously, he's had a couple nice 20-point performances in the last few games here. So it's a bit of a quiet night for him. And same with Pascal, man. We're expecting Pascal to be a 20-point-a-night guy. Obviously, he hasn't been that yet this season. Still needs to get things rolling a little bit better. But I'd like to see his defense generate more of his offense for him instead of focusing so much on just trying to get his offense going. Get your defense going, and that's going to help your offense get rolling on the other end of the floor, in my opinion. So, you know, tough game to watch as a Raptors fan, you guys. Hopefully we can get it rolling here on Sunday versus the Boston Celtics. Still going to be a tough game. Boston's turned it around a little bit lately. They're looking a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season. The Pacers got a tough matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Trying to push closer to 500 for them. Same with the Raptors, trying to get closer to that 500 mark here. You know, you just got to try and get some wins and keep pace, you guys. Long season still. We're only about a quarter way through the season here. Still got 3 quarters to go. But the Raptors are going to have to get it turned around pretty quickly if we want to solidify ourselves in the top 6 so we don't have to be in a play-in spot this year. You know, it's going to start with the defense, you guys. Our defense has got to improve here. We got to be able to hold guys under 110 points a game. You know, and with good defense comes good offense. I mean, we didn't have a lot of fast break points. I think we had 9 fast break points last night. You know, and that comes down to a lot of rebounding, right? You grab those defensive rebounds, you're able to run in transition and get those easy baskets on the offensive end. We didn't get a lot of those because we weren't grabbing those boards last night. We were allowing a lot of offensive boards. For the putbacks, unfortunately, we had, like I said, Sabonis just dominated with 23 points and 18 boards, 2 assists for them. Had a great game. Turner had 17 points and 10 boards for them. You know, so they're big guns. We're getting it done for them on the glass. We're just going to have to do a lot better job of boxing out, and I think we'll be able to be just fine going forward here, you guys. I would love to get your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. How do you think the Raptors fared in last night's game? What do you think is the biggest key for the Raptors to improve upon to be able to get some wins here going forward? Would love your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. And what else? One other thing, you guys, would love your opinion on your guys' thoughts on our chances on beating the Celtics on Sunday. I think we've got a pretty good opportunity to beat the Celtics squad. They don't really have a big-time big man other than Al Horford, who's more of a power forward than he is a center. So I think there's going to be a good opportunity for the Raptors to be able to you know, play a lot better defensively and get the W here Sunday coming up against the Celtics. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. Once again, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and every video on my channel means a lot to me, man. Thanks for watching today, you guys, and this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Chat.